Hello everybody and welcome back to another Oscar prediction video where today I will be taking a look at the category of Best Supporting Actress. Okay, so we're coming up pretty close to the Oscars, just over a week away at this stage, and I've noticed that the categories that I have left to do are mostly above the line. And that was totally unintentional on my part. Usually it's like a standard mix of above and below the line. But this year, all the trickiest categories to figure out are above the line. And spoilers for later, it's most of the categories where Anora is nominated in because I genuinely don't know how many Oscars it's going to win on the night. So this is one of the few categories left that Anora is not nominated in, and it's still tricky. I'm recording this before the SAG Awards, so I don't yet know who's going to win, and yet I thought it over for a long time, and I think I have to face the music. I think the frontrunner in this category does seem pretty clear, but I do have hope that there is a reasonable chance at an upset. But let's just take a look at the nominees. Fifth most likely to win is Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. Okay, so this is Barbaro's first nomination. She is a relative unknown, not a complete unknown. She has had a few minor roles, most notably a small role in Top Gun Maverick a few years ago, but this is certainly her big breakthrough role, playing Joan Baez, a real person, and showing off some impressive singing chops and some decently effective acting chops. I have not made it a secret that I was not a big fan of A Complete Unknown as a film. There's nothing really wrong with this performance, but it's not one that I personally would have singled out and nominated, and I'm surprised that so many voters did. Clearly, it's just a show of support that voters really, really took to this movie. With that said, I don't think she stands a very likely chance at a win. She is such a newcomer onto the scene, and I don't know how many people are really gonna go to bat for her. There are some other newcomers in other categories that have a stronger narrative behind him, but Monica Barbaro just kind of showed up and is relatively nice in this relatively simple role. And I'm sorry to be blunt, but I just don't think there's going to be that much enthusiasm for her to get the win. Frankly, I'm shocked there was enough enthusiasm for her to get the nomination. Fourth most likely to win is Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. So Felicity Jones is actually the only person in this lineup who is a previous nominee. She was up for The Theory of Everything back in 2014. I find it amusing that both of her Oscar nominations are for playing the supportive wife of a brilliant man, only this time she's the one in the wheelchair instead of him. So all joking aside, this is a good performance in a relatively stock role. She does get one very impressive scene near the end of the movie, but outside of that, it's not the showiest performance. Felicity Jones is a reliable actress, but it's not like she hasn't shown herself to be an impressively versatile actress in anything that I've seen her in. She's solid, she's reliable, she can play this supportive wife part well. I would love to see her in something that really, really tested her abilities. Unfortunately, this role is just not it, and there was genuine concern for a while about whether she would even get the nomination. Notably, she only appears in the second half of the film, at least physically on screen. There's a little bit of voiceover from her in the first half. And while it is a good performance, a lot of people have taken to confessing that they weren't as big a fan of the second half of the movie because that's when the film gets a lot bleaker. And while Jones is still good and does have a show-stopping scene, I feel like it's not going to be enough compared to some of the competition that she has in this category. This is a good performance. It's a solid performance. It's not one that particularly screams winner to me. Third most likely to win is Isabella Rossellini for Conclave. So this is an interesting nomination because Isabella Rossellini has very little screen time in this film. I believe she is on screen for about 8 minutes. And you hear that and you almost expect it to be a very loud, showy performance. And it's not that at all. It's fairly reserved for what she has to do. And I think a big part of the reason why she got nominated is because of the way that Edward Berger and the screenplay utilizes this character. Because the book is told entirely from Cardinal Lawrence's character, his point of view. And the movie, it adds these little moments where we get to see a snippet of something from her point of view. And these little moments really do add a lot to the screenplay because the film is obviously about the conclave process, the election of a new pope, and only men are allowed to be in that conversation. And so Rossellini's character is very much on the outside, but by showcasing these small moments of her perspective, it really does create a huge impact on the overall narrative. And Rossellini really does what she can given the screen time provided for her. So this is kind of a cool nomination. I don't know if she necessarily does enough to win. Like, I don't know if this is a Judi Dench in Shakespeare in Love or a Beatrice Straight in Network. It's not, because it's not very big. And the fact that she's even here is impressive, but I think a lot of people are going to say she doesn't do enough. And some might actually vote for her because Rossellini is a loved actress, and some might vote for her because they love the movie. And also, some might vote for her because they argue that the top two in this category are both co-leads, and maybe we should give it to someone who's actually supporting. Even if they're only in a few minutes, you can do a lot with a little. So I do think she's in third place in this category, but I don't think she's any higher than that. Second most likely to win is Ariana Grande in Wicked. Oh, wow. What a performance. Ariana Grande, I'm not going to be shy about this. She is my personal choice to win. So many people doubted her. She is primarily a pop star, not known for film acting. She has very few acting credits before this movie. And I had seen her in Victorious growing up, and I had seen her cameo in Don't Look Up. I've seen bits of her on SNL. I know that she can be funny. And people were mocking me. People were calling me stupid because I was predicting her to be nominated. So many people did not think she could pull this off, but she absolutely did. She hit it out of the park. You would never guess that she's not a trained, seasoned actress. She does it so well. And considering how many fan casts there were for Elphaba and Glinda over the years, I really do feel like the correct two people were found, and Ariana Grande just is always who I'll picture from now on as Glinda. With that said, so I'm recording this prior to SAG, and I personally believe that Grande is going to win SAG. And even so, I don't see her making it all the way to the Oscars. For a long time, I had faith that she could do it, but there was a lot of strikes against her. For one, the fact that she is primarily known as a pop star and is not someone who's going to be widely respected within the actors community. I think this movie did a lot to help her reputation, but for many people, this is her first big role, and they're going to be hesitant to vote for a pop superstar basically in their first movie. It's sort of the equivalent of Lady Gaga in Star is Born, who was nominated but didn't win. They're like, let's see what you can do. Let's see what your range is when you're not playing this character. Although she may get to show a little bit of a range in this character next year in Wicked for Good, which I still think is a stupid title. Just call it Wicked Part 2. But anyway, if you know the source material, you know that Grande is going to have a lot to chew on and is potentially going to be worthy of an Oscar next year. And they're not going to give her 2 Oscars 2 years in a row. So Grande, I've thinking for a while after I saw the movie, either she wins this year or she wins next year. I feel like she's got to win for playing this character, hopefully, because she's so good at it. And I know just from her acting in the No One Mourns the Wicked scene at the beginning that she really has the chops to knock Act 2 out of the park, especially, thank goodness, she is going to absolutely destroy that number. I want her to win. I think she would be very, very deserving as a winner. And she was winning a lot of critics' prizes early on, and it seemed very, very possible. However, of the main precursors, so far she hasn't won any. And even if she does win SAG, it will still be 3 against 1. So as of right now, the person that I'm predicting number 1 most likely to win the Oscar is Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. I hate this. Because a few videos ago, I talked about Emilia Perez in Song and how I really don't like the fact that this movie seems in a really good position to win an Academy Award, and now it's going to win potentially 2. But here's what's so interesting. Zoe Saldana, for some reason, has been almost immune to all of the controversy and backlash surrounding this film. Even with everything else going on, even when people are so upset that this movie is nominated, it seems like Saldana gets a fair pass. And I was trying to figure out why, and I realized it was because Saldana is a really, really respected actress going back a while now. Most of her most notable roles are in franchise blockbusters. Ironically, she has kind of the same narrative that Robert Downey Jr. did last year of, oh, we're so glad you're making a movie that isn't Marvel for a change. So she is getting to show her range. She is showing that she can sing and dance, which is impressing a lot of people. And even then, with all of the controversy happening and all of the backlash, there seems to be this general feeling of Zoe Saldana innocent. Like, we're so sorry that you got tangled up in this mess. This had nothing to do with you. This is not your fault. Here, let's give you an Oscar to make it up for you. Which is not how the Oscars are supposed to work, but I do feel that people really like Saldana as an actress, and she's given some really great emotional speeches, and she's actually been doing a pretty remarkable job of staying outside of all the controversy and backlash. And so I do think that she can win. Now, I obviously would prefer it if Grande could win. And I do think Grande is better. And yet Saldana is the more established actress. Saldana is someone that actors have been wanting to award. A lot of actors have worked with her in big movies. A lot of actors have really admired her acting talents, and because she's very good in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the Avatar movies and the Star Trek movies, and she's a really, really strong actress. There's just been this feeling of, oh, can't you do something that's like not that so we can actually give you an award for it? And so I think this has been a long time coming. I think Saldana is really well respected as an actress, and even if the movie crashed and burned around her, Saldana managed to save face. So good for her. I do think she's going to win this Oscar, as much as I would want Grande to win. You know what? I hope that if Saldana wins, she says, yes, 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 yes. And also I hope that if Grande wins, she goes, right! Oh man. The 2024 gave us a lot of memes, didn't it? So, thank you very much for watching, and tune in next time when I will be taking a look at the category of Best Cinematography. See you then.